Good morning. Welcome to Fibertown. This is episode 47. It is December 28th, 2013. Alice and I would like to say hi. This is Alice. I'm Emily, Chain of Fools and Ravelry, and Fibertown with an R-E on Instagram. And we had a very Merry Christmas, didn't we, Al? Yeah. All right, you go off. Have your nap. So yes, hello everybody. I'm so glad you all are here. I'm going to fiddle with my hair a little bit. Welcome to everybody. I've just kicked everybody out of the house so I can have a little peace and quiet. It's a beautiful day here and I'm just going to enjoy chatting with you all for a little while. So here we go. You can find the podcast on iTunes, and I have been leaving iTunes reviews like crazy. Every time I listen to a podcast, while I'm listening to it, I go ahead and leave a review in iTunes. And they've all been 5-star reviews because I love my podcasts. And you can find the show notes on my blog, which is www.fibertown.blogspot.com. And yeah, Christmas is great. We had a lovely time. And I have a mess here on my kitchen table to show you guys. It's out of control. So I'm going to be bending and grabbing and reaching, so please do excuse any strangeness. But guess what? I want to say welcome and hello to a few people who are brand new in the group and have introduced themselves on the welcome thread. Let's see, we have Pit Knitter, who's Deborah from British Columbia, Canada, and she's got doggies and she weaves and spins. And we also have Knit Nurse, who, okay, how do you pronounce this? Is that Carol? Carol? I'm going to say Carol. It's an interesting spelling. Anyway, Carol has boxers and adorable boxers. I love all dogs with the schmudgy face, the bulldogs and the boxers and the Bostons, of course. Then we have Heather01815, who is Heather from Massachusetts. She's got a poodle, a standard poodle, which are beautiful. And her sons want to say hi to Alice. So Alice says hi. She's over there. And then we have last, Mosaic Madness. And here's another name. I don't know if I'm going to get right. Virginie? Virgine? We'll say Virgine. She lives half the year in Minnesota and half the year in Austin, Texas. She spins. She's a brand new weaver. She just got a loom for Christmas, and she does mosaics, as her name would indicate, Mosaic Madness. So, hey everybody. Thanks for saying hello and welcome. Okie dokie. So today we've got show and tell. We've got whips. And we have weaving. And we have spinning. We have acquisitions and shenanigans and up and coming. It might be a longish show. It's been a while. So I'll see what I can get through today without making a podcast that is way too long. I like to keep it at a half hour or less. Okay. I have finished my Advent scarf. So let's do that first. This is out of Swan's Island Organic Merino in the Winterberry colorway. It's the fingering weight. And how shall I put this? Because this is a family show. I have discovered my capacity for, shall we say, BSing my way through a pattern. My capacity for that is very great. I ran out of yarn, which was a no-brainer. I knew I would. And I was left with this sort of, I don't know what this is, a table runner? It's not a scarf. It's not a shawl. It's, I don't know, I could wrap it around my shoulders like this. But it's kind of short. It's lovely. The fabric is great. And it's a good thing. Let's just say it's a very good thing that I am a process knitter. I'm okay with having this weird project at the end of it because I love knitting with the yarn. But I will say, the pattern is very good. It's very well written. But if I never do another slip one, knit one, pass slip stitch over again, ever, it will be too soon. Because this was full of them. And it's just not my favorite. So I discovered a lot about the process of doing that. I should have blocked this with my blocking wires because you can see the edge is wonky. If I had threaded my blocking wires through, I would have had a much smoother edge. I guess you can't really tell here, but it is not quite straight. You can't really tell, but trust me, it's uneven. So I don't know what's going to happen to this. It's very pretty. I love the feel of the fabric, so it's definitely a yarn I would invest in again because it was worth knitting. And to me, that's so much of the process, is the feel of the fabric, the techniques you use, learning new ones. So there's the advent scarf. And this was modified like crazy, so. Okay, that is show and tell number 1. Show and tell number 2, I knit in about 2 hours after I came out from under all the Christmas knitting. And yes, my family loved their hand knit socks. They wore them all day long, and I kept asking them, so do you like them? How do you like hand knit socks? Are they awesome? So they, of course, answered yes, 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 and said hand knit socks are in the bathroom on a rack drying right now because they've all been worn. Anyway, so this is show and tell number 2. And this is a hat out of some hand spun hobbledehoy batlings for my daughter. And these were so much fun. Just loved them. Look at the colors. Can you see that? Blues and pinks and greens and yellows and oranges and purples and reds and just everything. Now the top, I ran out of yarn, so the top is some more hand spun, but nobody ever sees the top because it's on your head. And it looks much better on her than it does on me. She looks super cute in it. She's got long hair. She is kind of ticked off because she wanted to wear this. So they're out hiking in the woods. She wanted to wear this, but so nope, it's got to be shown on the podcast. I think this was maybe 60 stitches cast on. It's a pretty bulky Navajo ply, so very fast knit. And finished objects. Numbers 3, 4, 5, and 6 are really going to be together for one project. This is for my neighbor who has lung cancer, she's my age, and our kids go to school together. And her favorite color is purple, so it was my friend Leanne's idea to do a joint project for her. So I think it's called the Textured Pillow, and it's from Natural Knits for Moms and Babies. And yeah, I've done my 4 squares. So this one was some sort of mystery yarn. I'm thinking it was, what's that called? Manos. It was Manos, a pretty skinny base of Manos. I held it double. And so you've just got the seed stitch border and stockinette panel. And then I did another identical one, but out of my hobbledehoy hand spun. This is the Beat Patch Bat. And I knit my niece's, if you recognize this, I knit my niece's hat out of the same bat. And oh, my niece and nephews loved their hats. And the littlest one wears the fish hat so well. He just strutted around in it. He was very happy. So, and the creeper hat went over well as well. All right, another plain square out of Tess Superwash Merino, which is awesome. I might get some more of that next sheep and wool. And then you all have seen this one before. This is Mad Tosh Vintage in the Flash Dance colorway, and I've got a little pearl textured heart there. Actually, seed stitch, not seed stitch. So everything is plain, except for this one, stitch-wise. And then, of course, this one adds quite a lot of visual interest. So my half of this is done. So that feels good. I'm waiting on my friend, who was just also finishing up her Christmas knitting, to do her squares, and then we'll gift this to my neighbor in the new year. Lots of purple, friends. Lots of purple. That's it for show and tell. After I cleansed my Christmas knitting palette with that hat, that very quick hat, I decided to cast on the monster cowl. I don't think I'm going to finish it in time for the Suburban Stitchers knit along. I'm in the middle of a row. But it's fun, and I'm really enjoying it. So I decided to use leftover yarn from my hero. And so I have 4 colors in this. I think the pattern calls for 2 or 3. But, you know, why not? It is stockinette. It's got this kind of mitered decreases. And there are increases as well. Just make ones. So I love the colors. I love the yarns. Pattern is just fine. I'm enjoying it. It's going to be long, and you know, it should be very easy knitting, and it is really, but I had a knit night last night and we were drinking some wine and something happened, so I've got to rip back. I think that's why I'm in the middle of the row. I discovered that little boo-boo in the middle of the row and didn't really trust myself to fix it last night while I was with my friends. So that'll have to be repaired. There's a provisional cast on, and I just did the crochet around your knitting needle cast on, just with some scrap yarn. And what else did I want to tell you about this? Oh, the yarns. Shepherd's Wool, Stonehenge Woolen Mill. There's everything is Stonehenge Woolen Mill, Shepherd's Wool, except for the plum color, which is Cascade 220. And you all have seen these colors before. So I'm hoping that this dark plum lasts me. I have more of the other colors than this one. So, oh, I remember what it was. The pattern tells you to carry the main color, I guess that's the first color you use, to carry just one color up the side. Now it's stockinette, so it rolls. This is my carrying side, and this is my non-carrying side. So I figured in for a penny, in for a pound. I'm carrying all of them. So I'm carrying 3 yarns at a time. And you know what? That's fine. It's gonna roll. It wanted you to weave in ends and tack down. That would be a lot of ends to weave in. I've seen, that's just not happening. I'm carrying everything up the side. So every right side row, I will trap the yarn and carry it up. So that's the Monster Cowl, and that is by, I know her Rav name is Julesy. I don't know her actual name. I apologize. All right, so that is fun. That's fun knitting. My other work in progress really is not, it's really not progressing. I think a kid ripped the needle out, but that's okay. I had this much, and I'll talk about that a little bit more in a while. That goes along with something else I have to show you. Okay, so let's talk weaving. I had been wanting to weave for quite some time. Christmas knitting prevented it. And I'm out of practice. This is still damp. I wanted to weave a scarf for a fiber friend. And I did. I used Katya Bombay cotton that I had bought on a trip to Spain a few years ago. You know, me and cotton, it's okay. I don't really love it. It's fine. It's great to weave with, and this person lives in a hotter climate, so I was thinking cotton would be great. So I went into this yarn store in Spain, and it turned out to be one of those places where you can't touch the yarn. It was a tiny little place, the lady behind a counter, you pointed to what you wanted, you told her what you wanted to make, and she would basically pull the yarn together for you. Not my kind of place. But I was in there, I felt obligated to buy something, because usually you don't, in like rural areas in Spain, you don't go to a store unless you have the intention of buying something. There's no browsing. You go because you need it, you're going to buy it. So I bought 4 skeins of this kind of rainbow sherbet colored cotton. So it's been sitting in my stash for quite a few years, and it just screamed out this particular person needed this to be woven for them. And I like the length, I like the drape. I'm going to do a more decorative tassel down here where it's twisted. But maybe you weavers out there can help me with this. When I wind onto the cloth beam, and I don't know how to avoid this. I think sometimes the tension is too great and I get issues like this. Can you see that? Hang on, let me get this right in front of the camera. Right here. Do you see that? The fabric gets pulled out of proportion somehow as I'm winding it on the cloth beam. And the weave is looser, or it looks like I haven't been beating it uniformly. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, there's a little bit over here. And it's bumming me out very much. Very, very much. I don't know if there's a way to fix it. I don't know if there's a way to avoid it. Like you can see here. Can you see that? See where that wavy line is? And all of a sudden the weave is very loose right here. It's hard to see if I'm showing this or not. Yes, right there. The weave is looser, and down there as well. Look at that. How do I avoid that? Please advise. Now my question is, do I send this to the friend or not? It's not as nice as I would like. Now, when it's around your neck, you know, it's plenty nice. You really probably don't notice it as much. So, it's like a rainbow plaid. Anyway, I hope there's a way to save it. If you know, please let me know. Please, please, please. So, I'm gonna take this off, it's still damp. Cotton really wrinkles when if you let it. Okay. Really, really wanted to send this to the person that it's destined for, but I don't know. I hesitate. So please let me know if you have an idea. Other weaving. Last summer, I think I waxed poetic about seeing some Saori, S-A-O-R-I weaving, and it's been in my head to try it for quite a while. So let me grab my loom. It is not completely warped. It's kind of halfway warped with my first made-up, homemade Saori warp. And Saori warp can be just anything you want to throw in there. So I have a huge variety of just leftover fibers that I have some ribbon yarns, I've got hand spun, I've got cotton, I've got like suede yarn, so it's a little crazy, but let me see if I can hold it up without doing too much damage. Okay, I still have the cloth on the warp beam. So there we go. I warped this whole thing from one end to the other. I'm going to use the whole width of the loom, and it still has to be threaded through the slots and then tied onto the cloth beam, but I'm very excited. So this is going to be probably an ongoing project. I'm going to try different techniques. I might put some wacky stuff in there, like mohair locks in the weft. And I'm going to try clasped weft with some yarn that was gifted to me by a viewer, Kelly, who I saw this weekend. And that should be interesting. And there goes the cloth, the paper. Okay. All right, at least the reed didn't fall out. So I'm excited about that. I hope it turns out well. I don't know what the purpose of its piece of fabric is going to be. It might just be, again, I'm a process person, so it doesn't really matter. All right, so on to spinning. Let's see. Let me talk about my spindle spinning first. There hasn't been a lot of it, and I really want to finish up my gourmet stash and get the Albers cowl cast on. That is going to be next. And I do have a little gourmet stash here, which you've seen before. This is Cat of the Canals, which is that amazing Kiviot blend. But you might recall that I was playing around with some 100% silk in a blend with Romney, and this is the leftovers. And I was reading the Knitty blog at some point, And I've noticed that the person who started Knitty is Amy Singer, and she is allergic to wool. In fact, she wrote a book called No Sheep for You, and it's patterns with wool-less fibers. So silks, cottons, and I think she often teaches classes on spindle spinning silk. And I was just looking at this, it's just so pretty, so pretty. And I remembered, you know, Amy Singer, spindle spinning silk. So I just took a little bit and put it on my Spanish peacock Tibetan spindle, and it is really fun to spin. See if it'll focus. If I hold it steadier. So this was just let me see if I can do this. What's it like? And I really enjoy it. So I'm going to take it off and get back to spinning my Cat of the Canals, but have this nice little hunk here to continue with at another time. I think I need to add more twist to it though. I think I need to read up on it, and probably more twist is necessary in 100% silk. All right, the other spinning I did on my wheel. It is that fin, 100% fin, where the preparation of the fiber was not ideal, and I ran it through my drum carder. This is probably about 3 ounces, and it's about 175 yards pre-washed. It's very fluffy. There are some thick and thin spots, I think, and that's mostly due to the prep and the fact that it's a 2-ply woolen spun. So this is going to make an amazing, here it is straight off of the wheel. It's pretty balanced. It hasn't been washed. Very balanced. Fluffy, light. This would make amazing mittens or a hat. And this is a prize for the Hero Cal. So those of you who knit or are still knitting a hero, you are going to be entered to win this, as well as the Joanna Spring project bag. So, as I said, it's beautiful. The colors are amazing. But just be warned, it's not perfection worsted spinning. It is rustic woolen spinning. But it's still going to be amazing. It's really soft. It's nice fin. Not scratchy at all. Really lovely. So yeah, that is it for spinning for now. There's going to be more of that. Okay, acquisitions. So I said that I met Kelly McKee, who is CMCKEE623 on Ravelry, and I met up with her at the Uniquity sale. She was there. They have a sale between Christmas and New Year's. It's a local yarn store in Vienna, Virginia, and I'm getting the things I bought. Very sadly, the things I wanted, the yarn I wanted to buy was not on sale. But I was there, so I got it anyway. At least some of it. And this is, let me show you the project I have in mind first. Pretty rare that I buy yarn with a project in mind, but today I did, or yesterday I did. Alrighty. This has been in my favorites for years. They're Christmas stockings. Fair Isle, very colorful Christmas stockings. And it's one of those things where I think about it over the holidays, but there's so much going on that I never really want to knit it. And then when the holidays are over, I'm done with the holidays. So my plan for this is to knit these stockings, at least some of them, during some extensive travel we're going to be doing next summer. So I wanted to get a very specific yarn. And what I ended up getting was Nature Spun by the Brown Sheep Company. And this is a worsted weight. And they bill this yarn as 100% moth proofed, whatever that means. It's 245 yards per skein, 5 stitches to the inch. So I have this color, I've got a red, a yellow, and then this color is another kind of blue. Hang on. Oh, excuse me. And another, actually, a blue and another red. These came with my loom for free. And I figure something that's moth-proofed is a good idea for an object that's going to be in a box in the garage or a closet for years and years. And, you know, if you want these to last for 30 or 40 years, seemed like a good bet to try this yarn. So I have a good amount of colors to start with. I would like to also get like some oranges and pinks, maybe purples, maybe a turquoise. So again, they're really, really, really colorful. And this is sort of a recipe. It's not really a pattern. It's very much a recipe. It comes with a lot of, it comes with a lot of these Fair Isle charts. Ugh, this is terrible. My apologies. At any rate, it's called The Spindle Knitter's Stockings, there we go, by Kristen Hall. I think I would like to add some Latvian braids in with mine. I think that would be cool. So, acquisitions, anything else? Yes, 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 yes. On Black Friday, Alana Dacos had a half-price sale on her physical copy of Botanical Knits. I'd been wanting this for a while. How long? It's been out for at least a year. So I said, yes, please, send it to me. It came. And this little sad thing I showed you is going to become the Oak Trail hat, which looks like a fun construction and a cute hat. So that's out of some hand-spun Rambouillet 3-ply. And I think this has twisted stitches, which I think will be amazing with that yarn. And depending on how it looks at the end of the knitting, I may or may not over-dye it. Well, dye it. Hasn't been dyed at all. There are great sweaters in here, and I might knit some one or two for my daughter. Now, at Uniquities, I also picked up the latest spin-off. Because, come on, it has Zwart bowls on the cover. That's pretty much why I bought this. Haven't read it yet, but that should be fun. And then it was the best day ever because look what came in the mail. The woolen issue of Ply, and I do like my woolen. Have not read through this yet, but looks great as usual. So maybe I'll discover a little bit more about what kind of woolen spinner I actually am, like what kind of technique I actually do use, because I just kind of do what feels good as far as spinning goes, and not too technical about it. Alrighty, I've covered up my show notes. Oh, we're still on acquisitions. So I didn't get any major wool yarny goodness for Christmas, from my family, that is. I did buy myself something. Came in this envelope. And then out of that envelope, I took this envelope. And then out of that envelope, wait a minute, there was a third envelope, sorry. No, hang on. There was this envelope, and then inside this envelope was this envelope. So I'm giving you an F for shipping, but it came in one piece, so. And I'll be able to reuse those envelopes, so. But, you know, ecologically speaking, not the greatest shipping practices. At any rate, I bought myself the next size up for my Chowgu red lace interchangeables. I have the small sizes, which go from a 2 to an 8, and so I got myself 9. 5-inch. You can get 4-inch or 5-inch tips. These are the 5-inch, which I prefer. And then you have to get, for the larger needle sizes, you have to get specific cables to go with them. So what is this, a 32-inch? A 30-inch. So altogether that will be 40 inches with the needles attached to it. So yeah, I'm adding to my collection. I hope to eventually have the entire set, but they're really inexpensive. I just had some funds in my PayPal and I got these on Etsy. So that was my little gift to myself to start building up my Chowgu interchangeable stash a bit more. Couple more acquisitions. And I didn't ask permission to show this one off. Oh, sorry. Told you it was a mess in here. but I'm going to show them off anyway. I knew that something was coming from this lovely person. This is Judy, who is J. Banducci. I'm sorry, Judy, I didn't ask permission, but I'm going to show it anyway because it's really great. She sent me a package, this lovely card, and it was signed by Judy and Gracie, who is her Boston, and they are in Idaho, I believe. And she's got a beautiful Boston. Her Ravatar is, I guess, Gracie. And she said it was a little something to make me smile, and it's still making me smile. Yes, indeed. It's a I love them. They are sock blockers. I love them, I love them, I love them. With little Bostons carved in there. I don't know if these were handmade by Judy, or she found them, or somebody else made them, but I adore them. I can't say how much I love them, and I'm super excited to use them. I'm going to tie them together with maybe a little string through the Boston ears and hang socks to dry on them. I love, 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 love them. Did I say that I love them? Because I do. They're beautifully made and they're just perfect. Thank you, Judy. You didn't have to do that, but I'm glad you did. Okay, last bit of acquisition, which will seg really well into my upcoming and Shenanigans stuff. Let's see. Last night I mentioned I had some friends in my house, and we drank a bottle of wine, and we knit, and we spun. Some of us spun. And my friend Leanne arrived at my door with a gigantic black trash bag. And that can only mean one thing. Somebody somewhere has destashed their yarn. Please focus, camera. I'm going to stay really still for a minute. This new webcam, it's not always all it's cracked up to be. Okay, so she came in and we just ripped into the bag of yarn. Someone somewhere had decided they wanted to stop knitting. And it was not the greatest stash in the world, but it wasn't. There was some decent stuff in there. And Leanne took the decent stuff, which I do not begrudge her. However, I was saying, you know, the Snuggles is coming up, and I have no junky yarn to knit Snuggles with. And Snuggles are dog, cat, other animal blankets that go to shelters. My dishwasher's done, sorry. So I have no junky yarn for that. And I do have some cotton, but cotton's not snuggly enough for these little babies in the pound. So there was a bonanza, a plethora of appropriate yarn in this bag. You have things like Encore. Look at that. What is this? Snuggly Bubbly. I have 3 of these. That'd be a lovely cat blanket. Some Vanna's Choice, which squeaks like nobody's business. And then the classic, Karen Simply Soft. Also, oh my. You sound like George Takei, right? Oh my. I have a bunch of this, and the dreaded Homespun by Lion Brand. So just a huge bag of acrylic and blends to knit for the animal babies. So if you're not familiar with the Snuggles project, just go and check out the Yarnivore podcast. Sadie sort of spearheads a Snuggles effort every winter. And I'll be probably crocheting most of those. Maybe knit one. Maybe I'll do a little sewing of my fleece scraps together too. So you can sew, crochet, or knit. I don't see why you couldn't weave, but ask Sadie. So that's coming, and I am well stocked for that. So yay. So as we went through all of this yarn last night, and my friend Leanne's daughter was gifted a spindle and some fiber for Christmas. So I gave her a lesson. I gave her some nice fiber. And she is a natural. She was spinning like right away. Let me show you a picture. And like all new spinners, she was putting way too much twist into the yarn. But you know, I showed her my first skein, which was full of twisty pigtails and whatnot. If you've on Instagram, you've seen this. Look at that. She's got a cup built up already. I lent her my Respect the Spindle, and she spun so much that her muscles started to ache, because when you start spindling, especially drop spindling, where you're holding your shoulders a certain way, you're using muscles you're not used to using, which is one reason I really love supported spindling, because it's a little lazier. It's less of a workout. So she did great, and we had a really nice time, and these words came out of her mother's mouth. We'll get a spinning wheel someday. So I think I have converted 1 or 2 people to spinning. All right, we are almost done, and yes, I am at 35 minutes. Okay. I have a thread in the group on Ravelry. It's what do you want to hear about kind of stuff. And there's some great ideas so far in there. I love what you guys are asking. If you do anything else that comes to mind, or if you would like me to have like a question thread, I've noticed a lot of podcasters doing that, and it seems to work pretty well. The Podiversary is coming up. Next time I see you guys, let's see, today's the 28th. Yes, I won't podcast again until 2014. 2013 has been an interesting year for me. I love doing this, and I plan to keep doing it, and I hope you guys keep tuning in and enjoying it, and because I really do enjoy chatting and sharing what I've been doing, and kind of getting the feedback from you all. Leading up to Christmas, I've been terrible about responding to things in the Ravelry group that didn't require an immediate direct response, but I want to let you know that I really super duper do enjoy people leaving feedback and comments on the Ravelry group. I read them all. I really do appreciate them, and yeah, I plan to be better about responding. So keep talking to me. Keep talking to me in the group. Let me know what you want to hear about, and in the new year, I will definitely follow through with some of those things. So let me leave you with one last thing, which is a pattern I bought recently. It is called Follow Your Arrow Mystery Cal by Isolde Teague. And it's sort of it's a mystery knit along, but it's like a choose your own adventure. And it's some sort of shawl or wrap or neck thing. And I'm going to start this. When does it start? The first clue comes on the 13th of January, and it runs through mid-February. So I am excited. I need to choose yarns for this. I think it should be a lot of fun. So yeah, I'll look forward to sharing that with you guys. If you want to knit along, let me know. Oh, and the Hero knit along. If you're finishing up, or if you're just starting, don't forget it ends on the 15th of January, and this is a prize, as well as a Joanna Spring bag. So that is it, you guys. Happy end of the year, and I will see you all next time. So take care. Bye-bye.